Hi everyone, I'm humbly Anna Anders here on this YouTube channel. And as I was saying in my second video there, today is July 18th. July 18th, 2016, and I was talking about the events of 9/11. And I was also talking about Gina's abduction case, my cousin Nancy's daughter, Gina De Jesus, and how I believe that our government covered it up because Gina had a relative that was trying to make some peace flags right after 9/11, humbly. And I didn't know. I mean, I did not know the ramifications of why that would be. I mean, and to tell you the truth, I sent out postcards to our government as well, to the White House, and matter of fact, I sent out postcards and letters to a lot of people, politicians, and I can pull those out and prove it to you. But it all fell on deaf ears right after 9/11. Matter of fact, I think I'll get those letters out today to share with you with that, okay? So anyways, when Gina went missing politically, I want to admit to this. I was sleeping, politically speaking, okay? I was sleeping, politically sleeping, and my other half said to me, Carrie Joy Dinette, from First Mesa, Palaka, Hopi Tewa, Butterfly Clan girl, she said to me, she said, do you think that you're giving this government too much credit? And I said, no, you know, because I was born and raised to be patriotic. That's how my mom and dad raised me. So I thought I was giving my loyalties to this government because that's the way I was raised. But honestly, what happened was, over time, I started to wake up. And Carrie shared it with me, but other people started showing up on my path, too, of life. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know the Federal Reserve Bank was not a federal institution. I didn't know that it was a private institution. I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that they had a secret meeting at Jekyll Island to form the Federal Reserve Banking Institution, a private institution. So I had to learn all this stuff, and I had to reconfirm it. I didn't know that 5 brothers made the banking industry as we know it today, from local to global. I didn't know that a Jewish man on his deathbed said to his 5 sons, please go out into the world, different parts of the world, and start a bank, you know, and so that's the banking history as we know it today. I did not know these things, and then the end result being Chase Manhattan Bank. You know, I didn't know the logo of Chase Manhattan Bank, that octagon logo. I didn't know that it fits inside the Israeli flag, the Star of David, fits in there perfectly. If you take that octagon and put it inside that star. Yeah, I didn't know it. They tell little secrets on themselves. You know, Starbucks coffee, they want the Star of David and they want your bucks. Starbucks coffee, that's somebody else taught me that. I didn't know these things. So, you know, it took time for me to wake up. And as I woke up more and more, I was shocked. And I had to go through my own emotions about it all, my own spiritual mojo about it all. I mean, it was kind of, it was earth-shattering for me and for this girl for waking up, you know. And it's going to be for you guys, too, if you're politically asleep. So, and my heart goes out to you. I have empathy and compassion for you. But, yeah, so I did my research, and I made trips to New York City and back, and I met people. I met first responders, family members. You know, I sat and had lunch with them at Ground Zero. You're not going to tell me that they didn't hear the bombs going off in the World Trade Center complex. You will never tell me that, okay? You will never tell me what I found at Ground Zero. You will not. See, when I went to Ground Zero, 9/11/2006, I really thought, okay, I'm going to go because I got to make sure that if I'm going to make these peace flags, I got to make sure, you know, what's going on in the world. So God afforded me the opportunity to go on a trip to New York City, and Carrie went with me, and we spent I think it was a week or 2 there in New York City, and I visited with my grandmother. She was alive back then, and you know, I wish I could say it was a wonderful trip, but it really wasn't. It was soul heart-wrenching, because when truth hits you in the face like that, it's very debilitating. It's like, oh my God, what kind of world do we really live in, you know? That's how shocking it was. It was soul shocking. And so what I want to say, guys, there's a documentary, it's called 9/11 Loose Change. 911 Loose Change, a young man by the name of Dylan Avery made that documentary. 911 Loose Change is a trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. And if you watch all 3 of those documentaries, for the third one, which I did not know this, and I could care less to this day, whether you believe me or not, I don't give a rat's ass. But I want to say this. At the end of in the third video, the 9/11 Loose Change video, you will see Carrie and I marching side by side, because they had us marching side by side for the 9/11 Truth Movement that was originating at Ground Zero on 9/11/2006. There was a bunch of activists there that we had the opportunity to meet, and people that actually, their loved ones that were lost, you know, first responders, family members and stuff. And you know, and I got to tell you, people, it's not the way, it didn't happen the way our government is saying that it happened. So when Gina went missing, we were desperate to get her home, with a lot of desperate prayers. And so my God moved me to do some activism work, and so I pursued that. That's when I made up the sign, "Where is Gina?" And I should go grab it real quick, but I'll grab it for the next video. But anyway, so I made some activist signs on and had them ready on Mother's Day 2012, and showed them to my children. And then I created a newsletter called All Eyes on It. See, and I used my oldest daughter's eyes, Francesca's eyes, as a template for the heading of this activist newsletter. So I just want to share with you very briefly what it is, okay? So on the first page of this newsletter, I put facts in this whole newsletter. I did not put fiction, nothing, okay? Earth truth, animal truth, food truth, and human truth, okay? And then the divider here is stop all corruption from local to global, okay? Because that's what we need to do. So if you see something, say something to save people as soon as possible. Because not all authorities are safe, people, okay? Authorities are corrupt and they want to cover shit up, like license plates and shit, okay? Drug trafficking and human trafficking, they go side by side together. Bad banking and bad business. Bad economy versus good economy. The second page, this is all about Earth's truth, okay? The second page here, All Eyes on It, is about the day of 9/11. These are reputable websites. I did not make this up. I don't have time to do that, okay? Just for an example, you can go to Alex Jones, Infowars.com, okay? Look up the Jersey Girls, AE911truth.org, David Ray Griffin, Ed Asner, that's an actor who's even standing up for 9/11 Truth, okay? Richard Gage, Google him, I've met him in person. Stephen Jones, he's a professor who did the dust samples from Ground Zero, okay? And the dust samples revealed a form of thermite, it was a military grade form of thermite that was used with an accelerator. So the stuff that they strike matches with. I don't know the name of it. But anyways, look up Stephen Jones. Sibel Edmond. Okay, Kevin Barrett. Okay, veteranstoday.com. Cynthia McKinney. Webster Tarpley. Okay, so this is a lot of good mojo, good information. And all these facts that are here, this is facts, okay? I can't make this up. So what I did was I took all that I learned over a decade of waking up, and I condensed it into an activist newsletter with the permission of others, okay? So this page here, the third page, is about the Middle East. If you want to know about the Middle East, people, you have to understand we are doing these wars for the Rothschild family, okay? And then there's a documentary, it's called, Are Jewish People Really Saying That the Zionists Did 9/11/01? You can Google that. Did our Congress hold an AIPAC meeting recently in Israel, and why? Why are we having political meetings in Israel? Tell me this, people, okay? Because I don't get it. This is the United States of America. All our political meetings should happen here, not in Israel, okay? So, yeah, we need to talk about the ethnic cleansing that's happening. See, there's ethnic cleansing that's happening in the Middle East. I closed up the newsletter here with a bunch of YouTube documentaries, okay? Documentaries, and I closed it up with Gina's story. Because I had strong reasons to believe that our corrupt government that did 9/11, after I woke up politically speaking, and they participated with that crap, okay? The Bushes of the world and the Blairs of the world, okay? The corrupt Queen of England, they were all involved with it. With the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, because David Rockefeller built those World Trade Center complex. So, but he scooted out of the way on July 24th, 2001, to let Lucky Larry Silverstein step in. He had a 99.9-year lease on that World Trade Center complex, and within the body of that lease was a terrorist insurance policy for the first time ever in the World Trade Center history of being built. People, you can't make this shit up. Oh, and look and research who Marvin Bush is. Marvin Bush. Yes, that's George Bush's younger brother. He had 2 jobs on the day of 9/11. Thank you.